Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's WhatDaBuG. Yes, what's poppin'? Yo, all right. So I know I said I'd be back, but things to do, I suppose. Being nice, I guess. So I've been told. Yeah, it's always interesting, and it's gonna keep being interesting. Oh, I had to restart my computer, so I forgot. I didn't open up the book yet, but whatever. How's it going, everybody? What's poppin'? How's it going? Dude, I spelled that so wrong. Oh man. Shit. There we go. Cool. First thing to pop up. I'm so glad because the last time I was like, "You want to listen to Gypsy?" I'm like, "Hell no." But I got to though. Sucks. All right. Cool. I already made all the settings over here. All right. You're cool like that. All right. All right. I guess that works. All right. Cool. All right. I'm down to check out a couple of those things. All right. Let's get that going and let me take this thing down. We'll just start. Because we've been waiting, right? Yes, we have been. All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me situate my situation. I like me over here and you guys over there. It makes it easier for me to play with things. We like to play with things around here, right? So, Cool. Alrighty. Oh, man. All right, yeah, that's what we got to do. That's how we do this. Yeah, there you go, Bug. You got this. See? We got this. How about that? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And also, guys, I'll give you some information, for Celebrate DD 2025. Let's go. But might possibly have someone come up or put a whole big thing of information out for you guys. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I think it was Moose squeaking something. I don't know. But what's cool about this is I can do this. Thanks, guys. And Bird is in the chat. You guys also give her a follow on YouTube and TikTok. We doing all the things. Also, if Kai's here, Casey, them as well, both TikTok and YouTube. Alrighty, now we got this up. Let's I guess let's start doing this thing.
Conditions of.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. We're on chapter 10. The book is called Whole. It's by Melissa Moore. And yeah, let's keep going. So the whole point of this is, let me explain for a minute, is that I think we've been giving Christy like way too much credit. You're gonna hear me say this again and again because this is way more than just that. So I'm like, let's see. Really made me like wonder. I mean, I've been really wondering, but dude, the book was like, wait a minute. So I'm like, all right, who's this lady's name? Man, I started looking into all this, and it's wild. All right, so yeah, Moose, hold on, bud. He's like sniffing under my door, like he's never smelled the room before. God, like, what are you doing, bro? What you sniffing at, man? All right, anyway, Mike Stanfield as well, but we're starting here. Let's do this.
The storm. If you don't know where you are headed, you'll probably end up someplace else. Douglas J. Eder, Doctor of Philosophy. Would it make sense to board up your windows, stock up on canned foods, or abandon your home and move across the country when a weather forecaster threatens a little precipitation? We take in the conditions of the weather on a daily basis before carrying out plans. Will we need yellow ponchos for Disney World? Should the high school graduation ceremony be moved indoors? Is it going to be too muddy for a backyard wedding? Underreacting and overreacting happen when you don't properly assess the conditions of your storm and you give in to the stress response. In his Meditations, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the only way a man can be harmed by others is to allow his reaction to overpower him. Being highly reactive has been shown to make people prone to anxiety and aggression. In Buddhist meditation, stopping is one of the two elements. The other is deep looking. Deep looking can only happen once we have stopped. If you look at teachings on Buddhist meditation, you will find that once you achieve stopping, you become solid and concentrated. Then you look deeply into your nature, or the nature of things, to find insight. Emotions as our guideposts. Your emotions are meant to fluctuate, just like your blood pressure is meant to fluctuate. It's a system that's supposed to move back and forth between happy and unhappy. That's how the system guides you through the world. Daniel Gilbert, Doctor of Philosophy. Watching the storm is synonymous with the idea of paying attention to your feelings, acknowledging them, and accepting the conditions. If you skip this part of the process and instead go into denial or premature reaction mode, you miss out on an important part of the healing process, using emotions as guideposts. We are emotional beings, and that's no accident. Emotions are not to be suppressed or ashamed of or hidden from others. They are our natural guides. Turning your back on them is like taking a hammer to your GPS when you find yourself lost in a foreign city, or in my case, in my own neighborhood.
Oh, dude, I am so sorry. I forgot to speed this shit up. This shit sucks. Like, the voice itself, there's context and stuff, but it's the voice of which the person's reading. Because at least with Gypsy's book, it was like in her voice, so it was like, wait a minute. Like, not only were the words throwing you off, but it was like Gypsy saying it, so it was like, what the fuck?
To fear our emotions and then anesthetize ourselves against them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because that's the whole thing. That's the whole point of looking into this. Because I mean, I think there's. I'm just, I don't really go into tea. Like, I might do like the occasional, like, what do you think Ken's doing, or make a joke here or there, like, you think Ryan or whatever. There's that, but that's just kind of like actually part of what's going on. Because it's like there's still that other factor of like the father or what the fuck ever and all this. No, it's not her voice. It's not Melissa's voice. And we actually did on, let's see, a couple lives ago. Yes, she is Bird. We actually did watch a couple of interviews. Now, there's some stuff I have actually watched later at night with my TikTok people. I know some of you guys are over there and some of you guys are just over here, but I can show you guys some of the interviews that we haven't watched over here. Not right now, but so that's the whole thing. So, starting with Melissa Moore, and I start to talk about Mike as well because I have a new YouTube video coming out very soon, guys. As soon as I get off of here, I got to work on that. Then I want to drum, so yeah. All right, let me shut the fuck up and let you guys continue listening to this shit.
Will destroy our internal compasses. When we don't turn toward our emotions and allow ourselves to define them, articulate them, and then release them, our feelings become unresolved. India's ancient healing system of Ayurveda teaches that just as physical toxins, known as ama, can build up in our cells, we can also accumulate mental toxicity in the form of unresolved anger, fear, doubt, cravings, compulsiveness, and emotional upset, according to the Chopra Center. I saw these toxins of unacknowledged pain literally gush out of my friend Sasha when she, her husband, and their children moved in with us for a month. My dear friend from college had been the victim of the aftermath of the 2008 economic crisis. Her husband losing his job was the cherry on top of it all, as he was forced to file for unemployment and government assistance. After a 5-year struggle, she and her husband ultimately succumbed to a foreclosure, bankruptcy, and homelessness. My husband Sam and I convinced them to stay with us until they could get back on their feet. Each day the kids would go to school, and Sasha and her husband would pound the pavement. We'd reconvene at dinner time, surrounded by food and laughter. After 2 weeks, Sasha and I had settled into an evening routine of cleaning off the table and getting the kids ready for bed. And then, one evening, she wasn't there to dry the dishes. I chalk it up to a female gut instinct thing, but I headed straight to the bathroom door and heard poor Sasha vomiting. "What is going on with you, Sasha?" "Melissa," she said, looking at me with bloodshot eyes. "I can't take this anymore. I'm so scared." This was Sasha's storm, and I desperately wanted to help her, so I tried to make her feel safe enough to start listening to her emotions and learning from them.
Hey, what's going on, Tintin? Okay, yeah, actually, Laura, I did hear that. Yeah, they were telling me that, and I'm, but at the same time, it's like, bro, I told y'all that. I tried to look. Without look, without fucking showing any screenshots and shit because I want people to be able to trust me, and I already have showed that. Like, look, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is, even if they're a complete fucking dumbass, and I'm calling them out as dude. I was being gentle as could fucking be on there, but whatever. I didn't do anything. I was just trying to be honest in the cleanest way possible. She was making it difficult, so I just repeated myself because she kept repeating herself, and I was like, "Well, until someone tells me to stop, I'm not." I was like, "Dude, fuck this." Yeah, well, you know, it's fucking scats and crotch itch. All right, let's. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't even answer. I said hey, and then I completely skipped back up because I saw that and I was like, yeah. All right. Okay, that's funny. Interesting. But didn't I already fucking tell you guys that like months ago? That's fine. That's fine. You know, I'm used to people not listening to me. So let's just keep going. You know, let's just keep going. Don't forget, guys, if you do sign up for HOA, you will be helping people not only clean their outside of their houses and build and make sure things are situated, but you're also going to be wiping their ass and their nose and making sure that their diapers are good to go and that they have enough Pepsi in their baba. And maybe occasionally tell them to brush their bald head.
"Okay," I said, "let's think about this. What happened today? You have a roof over your head today. You have food in your belly today. Your husband networked today, and possibly made a good contact today." Noticing a hint of acknowledgement in her eyes, I continued, "Okay, what bad thing happened today? Did someone get hurt? Did someone get lost? Was someone bad to you?" Sasha replied, "Everybody's okay today. My boys are healthy. I'm healthy. We're together." I had done this form of Gestalt self-talk with myself when I developed severe anxiety as a little girl, tossing and turning on the basement floor of my grandma's house. What happened today? I'd ask myself in the darkness. I didn't have to sleep at the shelter today. We are safe from my father today. I made a new friend today. I have a full belly today. It's a Pollyanna way of thinking, sure, but my father always accused me of having rose-colored glasses, so I decided to put them to good use. As I got older, however, I learned that while positive thinking and looking on the bright side are supported by science to enhance the mood and empower a person, one particular philosophy of Stoicism was surprisingly helpful as well. Stoics are like the other side of the positive psychology coin, in support of negative visualization. Stoics believe that it is a good practice to close our eyes once in a while and imagine the worst thing that could happen, to basically take our good fortune and imagine it away. The pain we feel through this visualization, what is revealed to ourselves, can be turned into power. Now, as bad as things can get, I can try to imagine them worse. And like exposure therapy, I feel more capable of dealing with what I currently face, and I can actually find gratitude for it. Exercise. The day in review. What happened today? I end each day, no matter how happy or benign or damaging, with a day in review. I ask myself the same questions I asked Sasha when she was sick to her stomach over her economic situation. What happened today? When you do this exercise for yourself, answer the questions out loud and emphasize the word today, repeating it over and over within each new question and answer. I had a roof over my head today. I made a new friend today. I helped someone with car trouble today. I handled myself poorly in front of my boss today. I cried today. I sent an unprofessional email today. Whether the day's review brings negative answers or positive ones is not the point. The emphasis on the word today is the meditative practice that aims to keep you in the present moment, which is all you have to work with anyway. At the end of the day, this line of questioning reminds me of one important fact. Today is about to end, as will the good and the bad things that comprised it. Nothing can make me feel more grounded about a new day to come than reminding myself that what's to come when I open my eyes is a clean slate. This is similar to what in Buddhism is known as beginning anew, or beginner's mind. Beginning anew means to make a vow to try to not repeat your mistakes or negative behaviors. When we commit to living with more awareness and deeply looking at our storms to receive the insights they reveal, we can be born again. I vow to myself, over and over again if that tells you something, I am focused on doing things differently than I did before. I love the optimism and forgiveness that are etched in the notion of the beginner's mind, because it is truly compassionate and non-violent toward my propensity to keep screwing up. My mantra? Where there is a new day, there is a new mind.
What the? Alright, maybe the one part. But then she was, like, twisting and turning. Bro, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, they just put like, I understand what they're saying, but it just seems like they're, like, just putting words in there to be like, "Oh," and it's like, "Bro, calm down, because calm down. What you just said was not that serious. Alright, bitch, you wanna change your fucking ways." Like, bro, you gotta spice shit up. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, cool. I get it.
Let it all out. My co-author, Michelle, didn't know Marina very well, but on a bright morning in early fall, the two women began chatting after walking their small children to the elementary school doors. Marina commented on Michelle's iPod, secured to her arm with a running band. Michelle's stress levels had decreased since she began making running a part of her daily ritual, and Marina agreed that she too found stress release in exercise. Soon, Marina's story of how stress affected her in the past came flooding out, and she and Michelle were having a transformative conversation. Marina generously and without shame shared her story, which went something like this. Marina wasn't much of a white wedding girl, so when her then boyfriend proposed, she married quickly and settled into the routine of marriage. She and Eldon headed to the gym together with the rest of the 5 a.m. crowd and carpooled to the train station, where they'd say their goodbyes until meeting again for the ride home later in the evening. They ate dinner together on most nights and watched movies with Eldon's friends on fun Fridays. They loved watching Thursday night football and lounging around in nothing but their Patriots jerseys on Sundays. Until Marina got sick. First, she noticed her sleep patterns disrupted to the point where she couldn't fulfill her obligations at work. Like clockwork, Marina would wake at 3:30 each morning and jump out of bed. There was no going back to sleep, no matter what she tried. She began making frequent visits to her gynecologist's office for various infections, which she had never experienced before. Then she got shingles on her face.
No! This is what I'm fucking talking about. There was no fucking warning, no fucking reason at all I needed to hear anything like that, and I only paused it after she only said 3 seconds worth of stuff, so fuck. Damn it.
Which lasted months and caused tremendous pain. Finally, a night of intimacy with her husband sent Marina to the emergency room to treat a hemorrhage. When the cause was undetermined, her stumped doctor turned to Marina, asking only half-jokingly, "What are you, allergic to your husband?"
Oh my
Bingo.
god.
Marina hadn't told anyone about how bossy Eldon was, or how he treated her like a possession, making it difficult for her to see her old friends and get together with former coworkers. In fact, Marina admitted, for a long while she was in denial about it herself. She hadn't told anyone that when she mentioned she wanted to go back to work now that the youngest was in preschool, Eldon accused her of being a bad and neglectful mother for even thinking about leaving the kids. She hadn't told anyone of the cold and rough sex, of the lipstick on Eldon's collars, and of his arrogance that chipped away at her self-esteem day in and day out. The truth in her doctor's question rang so true, Marina could do nothing but weep. After soul-searching with her therapist, Marina realized she was living WhatDaBuG's save now, pay later denial scenario. By keeping the peace and going along with her husband, she was paying exponentially in both her mental and physical health.
I don't know what you guys want me to do. I could put it back where it's supposed to go. I could put it maybe at I could put it here. I don't know, man. Either way, it's still fucking nuts, dude. So y'all just let me know. I'll stay with you guys.
Marina figured out that her subconscious had been telling her to get out of her marriage for as long as she remembered waking at 3:30. It was as if my mind was telling me to get out of that bed where he was lying, but only my body was obeying, Marina said. When she told her friends and family that she was unhappy and her marriage counseling failed to mend the broken relationship, Marina filed for a legal separation. 2 years after she and the kids moved out and into a home of their own, Marina hasn't needed to go back to her doctor for a single infection. Her shingles never returned, and she is healthier than ever. What's going on here? In Opening Up, The Healing Power of Expressing Emotions, James W. Pennebaker, Doctor of Philosophy, shares his research, which indicates that purposely holding back or inhibiting our thoughts and feelings takes a lot of effort and energy. Exerting all of that concentration for the sake of being private actually weakens the body's
All right, you guys are distracting the shit out of me. All right, so we're listening to Melissa Moore's book Whole. Her and the other chick, Michelle, they both are the co-authors for Gypsy's memoir, whatever. But the whole thing is trying to get through this because there's there's just this whole thing, and then her dad is a serial killer, and she there's just I just think that there's more going on. No, I know there's more going on with Melissa and Mike than we're being told. So we're starting here to get a feel for what's going on, because there's already already basically what we're struggling through right now is it's got some close similarities to Gypsy stuff, and I think that there's some stories that Gypsy tells to make them hers, but whatever. Like, the book topic, who fucking knows? It's a whole thing of something. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you what it's about. I've listened to enough of it to know that I don't know what it's about. I guess you gotta heal yourself. You gotta put yourself back together. Put yourself back together so well that you can pour fucking tea into the broken cup. You better fix your fucking self. Get yourself the right kind of glue. Do it. These words here in this book, they will fix you, I promise.
natural defenses, just as more commonly known stressors, like demanding work schedules or family illness, can affect immune function, heart health, blood flow, brain, and nervous systems, so does inhibiting how we feel. On the other hand, confronting our deepest thoughts and feelings can have insurmountable health benefits, both long and short term. Through his probing, Dr. Pennebaker found that writing or talking in an act of confession can counteract many of the issues caused by inhibition. Even more, writing or talking about painful things can influence our basic values, our daily thinking patterns, and feelings about ourselves. Marina agrees. Not only has she learned that her inhibition was making her physically sick, she sees how opening up helped her decide what she is willing and unwilling to accept in a relationship moving forward. To state it simply, putting up a good front is not so good for us, while letting it all hang out can save our emotional and physical lives. But to talk about issues isn't merely about letting it all out. It's also about taking things in. The process of sharing our most innermost demons, or confessing our sins, requires that we be ready to receive input that comes from our output. And some of that input might not be what we'd like to hear. In most cases, telling people how we feel as we grapple with recovering from trauma results in praise. You were so brave. Identifying attributes. You were able to think so quickly. Solid advice. I think the next step is to call her and apologize, as well as healthy doses of attention, empathy, and assistance. And sometimes, just talking about things aloud helps you hear what you're saying more clearly than when ideas are moshing in the pit of your mind.
Okay, although this voice is annoying as shit, actually Melissa's is more annoying. You'd be surprised. But not as robotic. Anyway.
How many times have you told a friend about a conundrum, only to figure out a solution yourself before you even finished speaking about it? I grappled with getting up the nerve to speak myself. I didn't tell a soul about my father's crimes, or about that day I watched my mother being pummeled and emotionally battered by her new husband. Once I was found out by many of my teenage classmates and their families, I was the freak show to be avoided, as if I had inherited the rape and strangled gene. So once I made a new life for myself with my husband and small children in a state far away from Spokane, Washington, I dared not take the chance of having my children walk around with a scarlet letter. I was active in our church, played the dutiful wife, and even ran a daycare out of my home. But I didn't let anyone know about my past. Can you imagine what kind of uproar would have occurred if news got out that the community babysitter's father was incarcerated for a 10-year killing spree? Mum's the word here, I thought.
Oh my god. This she's a whole ass joke. I don't know how I mean, honestly, I feel like the only reason I can kinda like keep up with what's going on, even though it keeps switching, is because like my brain works like that anyway. So it's like, all right, we're changing subjects again. That's fine. I'll keep that one over there to the side and in that pocket over there, and then put this rock in this pocket and the pick over here. But then I'm gonna pull out the stick and then we'll go back over here. Oh, and did I tell you about the roller coaster?
Even now, I cannot tell you to just jump in with both feet and tell the first person you see what's going on. But you can do what I did. Begin to write it all down. When I had nowhere to turn, I wrote almost 100,000 words. That's a lot of confusion and torment and anger and despair splattered on the page. But as I moved through the writing,
Dude, that's literally what I just said. She just said that. She literally just admitted to what I just was explaining. She was like, basically, I had a book and I fucking just was like, this, and that. She fucking put the barbecue sauce, splattered that bitch right down on the pages. She just told us that. She absolutely, yeah, but there's so much more that we're not just reading this because she's one of the co-authors on Gypsy's book. I have a theory that she's behind a lot more of she's co-signing the bullshit behavior and just absolute nonsense that Gypsy's been doing the whole fucking time. For a very long time, not the whole time. And then there's Mike, but we're here. And I'm sure you guys can hear that you can hear the words. I mean, it's like, dude. Anyway,
process.
fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I hit the wrong button. I got excited. But anyway, yeah. All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
Began to emerge. Ones of strength, hope, creativity, and love. I felt exhausted after purging the sentences, but also freer. It is said that when we are suppressing certain incidences or feelings, we remember painful experiences in a fragmented way, which means we don't have the opportunity to view the big picture in a manner that lets us come to terms with it. Writing down our stories assists us in confronting our trauma from a safe place, thus providing a sense of control over a narrative that has controlled us, perhaps for a long time. Writing can pull the pieces together. Seeing my life from early childhood to the day I left home as one long string of connected patterns and experiences helped me to identify how I wanted to live moving forward. It also enabled me to see through adult eyes how little control I really had back then, which in turn allowed me to appreciate, for the first time, how much I had been able to accomplish with the few resources I could find. After reading back my story, I cried my eyes out, grieving for what I never had and what will never be, but also feeling relief for who I am now with a hope of whom I am yet to become. For the first time, I took a moment to have compassion for myself and forgive some of the dumb moves I made. We will talk more about writing to heal in E, Elevate Your Spirit. In my opinion, though, the best revelation of much of the research conducted by Dr. Pennebaker is that you don't need to write with the intention of letting anyone read your story. It really is as simple as keeping a journal or writing letters to yourself. This is because, according to Art Markman, Doctor of Philosophy, the benefit of writing is not in disclosing this personal information to someone else, but in creating a story that links together the emotional memories. Making these traumatic events more coherent makes memories of these events less likely to be repeatedly called to mind, and so they can be laid to rest. And isn't that the point? Michelle, who obviously prefers to write, said that her strategy for conjuring up her emotions and laying them to rest was not in the form of writing them, but in verbalizing them. Michelle's story. This is going to sound crazy because it is, but after my breakup with my husband, I used to walk aimlessly around 34th Street at lunchtime in search of a miracle. I was desperate to silence the demonic voices in my head who made it their mission to talk me into believing that my life had ended, that I was over, that there was no point in dreaming about the future. The best times of my life had passed, and I would just exist from here on out. Talk about mistaken certainties. The thoughts would march in at any given moment, in the shower, while eating dinner with my parents, and most of the time at the office. So as a futile attempt to exorcise the voices, each day at lunch I descend the 11 stories of my office building and head onto the bustling streets of 7th Avenue. Rain or shine, snow or sleet, freezing or sweltering, I'd head south on 7th, all the while talking to myself about how desperate I felt, and how lonely I was, and how much I missed the damn guy. But like wearing out the ear of a sympathetic friend, after a while I became completely bored of hearing myself, bored by my role of victim, bored by the apathetic state I had adopted, and bored by the fact that I had lost all interest in anything that wasn't about my feelings and my ex. I had accomplished one of the most difficult tasks of humanity. I actually repelled myself. But I didn't stop, mostly because I had created a bad habit, one that I had come to rely on to break up the day. Admitting that I wouldn't give up the nonsense, I was led to mix it up a bit by conducting a weird experiment, with my brain being the lab rat and my thoughts the stimuli. On one of my lunchtime strolls, I pressed record on a handheld recorder way before smartphones and began talking into it. Each day, I'd ramble on and on, spewing my musings into the mic. Then every Monday of the following week, after taking the weekend off, I'd play back the previous week's entries. It was hard listening to myself, embarrassing, like reading my diary from high school. I wasn't embarrassed over my voice sounding unfamiliar or my Brooklyn accent being more prominent than I suspected. I was uncomfortable because I didn't recognize the person who was ranting and crying and whining and pining. I realized with a shock that I had emotionally traveled a long way since my first days of the divorce. I turned around and saw I had also physically covered much ground, striding way beyond the confines of 34th Street. I don't think I would have realized I was healing if I hadn't really heard myself. I wasn't stuck in a rut after all, or doomed to a perpetual state of depression. I began to feel hope. And the hope I gained helped me tell myself I was capable of growing from all this. Hope made it easier for me to hit playback because I began to trust the tangible empirical evidence that I was already in a better place. I was literally hearing myself heal. Healing happened like a couch to 5K interval training program, long period of walking interrupted by bursts of running until all we do is run. Nobody simply wakes up okay, just as we don't suddenly wake up a complete mess. Using time, distance, practice, and honest introspection, and maybe some crazy whims like taking lunchtime walks while talking to yourself, healing can be measured and heard if you only listen hard enough. Exercise. How does your storm make you feel? Sitting with the pain can be painful, but it is the beginning of opening up to awareness and growth. Ask yourself, how does my painful experience make me feel? Can you write about it, or even talk about it? Embarrassed, alone, humiliated, guilty, isolated, ignored, undignified, stupid, worthless, used, invisible, foolish, disrespected, other. Writing things down, or at least articulating the swirling sensations that can sweep us away, feels a bit like exposure therapy. It's less scary now that it's out there. Reflect on that list of really crappy feelings. Now I look at them and think, big whoop. Somehow they seem less scary, don't they? It's like lying in bed in a pitch-dark room for a few minutes at a time, until you realize that after a while, if you give them a chance, your eyes adjust to the dark, enabling you to make out shapes where none were, until you fall asleep in the light of your own peace. You are here. A course in mindfulness. You are here for life. And if you are here for life, life will be here for you. It's simple. Thich Nhat Hanh. I always wanted to be able to say with absolute certainty which book I'd bring with me if I were to live out the rest of my life on a deserted island. Now I can.
Dude, this lady is wild. I don't really even have anything to say at this point. It's just like, wait, what? All right. Well, I'm reading your comments. It's like, wait, what's going on? But yeah, this is mhm.
It's called You Are Here, Discovering the Magic of the Present Moment by Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the most widely known Buddhist monks and teachers. Some describe him as second to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I know I'm a little late to the party, as everyone and their mother have talked ad nauseum about the power of the breath, being in the now, and mindfulness meditation. It's a little embarrassing to be all giddy about the simple and transformative power of discovering that indeed I am here. I love the plainness and magnitude of the book's title, You Are Here. Certainly, I am here. How perceptive. But then I said the words again, still with mockery, as in, duh, where else would I be? Third time, like clicking my heels, the words
Then WhatDaBuG.
seeped in. They became true, and they became powerful. Holy crap, I am here, which means one day I won't be. Get with the program, Melissa. My brush with Buddhism, like many life-saving tactics, came in the nick of time, like the ladder truck to the blazing apartment building, or the lifeboat to the sinking ship. It occurred just a few years ago, when I was going through some rough times. I was having adult problems, a far cry from the more internal grumblings I was used to dealing with. My husband and I and the kids had relocated to Texas only for Sam to get laid off. My son was having learning difficulties. My daughter required homeschooling because of bullying. Looking at each precious member of my family caused my heart to bleed with frustration at my helplessness to fix any of it. The pressure was driving Sam and me apart, often pitting us against each other like enemies, instead of fusing us together like the partners we had once promised to be. Knowing how tumultuous one storm could be, now we had 4 circling our cabin, until ultimately we'd add another into the mix in the form of my own storm. Panic attacks, feelings of numbness and apathy, resentment and disillusionment. I was, to put it as aptly as I can, languishing. But then I read the title of the book Michelle told me about. You Are Here. And like I said,
Oh, there we go. Placing blame on Michelle, but her name's right here too. So,
earlier, I was a bit jaded. So in a fit of rage mixed with laughter, I said to myself, but also to Thich Nhat Hanh, "That's right, buddy boy, I am here, and it is the last place I want to be." But then, as if he were expecting such a reaction, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, Buddhist practice is based on nonviolence and non-dualism. You don't have to struggle with your breath. You don't have to struggle with your body, or with your hate or anger. Treat your in-breath and out-breath tenderly, non-violently, as you would treat a flower. When you are dealing with pain, with a moment of irritation, or with a bout of anger, you can learn to treat them in the same way. Do not fight against pain. Do not fight against irritation or jealousy. Embrace them with great tenderness, as though you were embracing a little baby.
um, what is she talk? What are we talking about? I swear it sounds like that Mormon shit. what, I was there, for a second, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Wait a minute. This sounds like we're describing something far different than what I thought we were talking about." But, if you guys figure it out, I'm reading the comments, so just please let me know. I'm personally over here, struggling. I'm not really quite sure what's going on, but you guys feel free to let me know if you figure it out.
Your anger is yourself, and you should not be violent toward it. The same thing goes for all of your emotions. I had watched each of us in my family struggle with pain instead of cradle it with tenderness. This idea of duality, that we are both good and bad, sad and happy, calm and anxious, shifted my perspective. Thich Nhat Hanh promises that the spirit of non-duality will put a stop to the war within us. You have struggled in the past, he writes, and perhaps you are still struggling. But is it necessary? No. Struggle is useless. Stop struggling. So, I decided to try. Mindful simply means having good control over your attention. You can place your attention wherever you want, and it stays there. When you want to shift it to something else, you can. Rick Hansen, Doctor of Philosophy, and Richard Mendius, medical doctor. Buddha's Brain, The Practical Neuroscience of Happiness, Love, and Wisdom. You are not the I of.
That's weird that it read that. That was weird. I was reading the Was it reading the site to us? What? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm trying. How are you guys doing? And yes, Melissa Moore's father was the smiley face killer, happy face killer. Yes, happy face killer. Yeah, but I went to AA meetings for 20 years, banana psychologist and a therapist. Yes, yes. I'm back. Well, it was just, like we had the holidays, whatever. So, but yeah, I told you guys I'm back. I have a video. I've been working on it, and like as soon as I'm done with this with you guys in a little bit, yeah, we'll read a little bit more. And like I said, I'd do at least an hour of this for you guys so that there was continuance of the book, and then do whatever. But we'll just see. We'll just see. We'll just see.
The storm. The mask of shame will keep you from your destiny. You don't have to condemn yourself for your mistakes. Take off the mask of shame. God cannot bless who you pretend to be. Joel Osteen. Obviously, we all have storms. Some hit all at once. Some come and go and leave us a bit different. One thing we know is that there will be plenty more storms in the future. In my earlier life, when I was still getting to know my own value and worth and had a lot of growing up to do, I had what English composition teachers call I-itis. Each storm was an extension of me. We were related until we became interdependent. Each storm had an I, and it was I. In what I believe is the vanguard of modern self-help literature, The Ultimate Secrets of Total Self-Confidence author Robert Anthony, Doctor of Philosophy, zeroes in on how identifying with our storm chips away at self-confidence and impedes the ability to find one's true north. Do you concentrate on your limitations, your failures, your blundering way of doing things, seldom stopping to think of what you might be? He writes, the problem is that you have been conditioned since childhood by false concepts, values, and beliefs that have prevented you from realizing how truly capable and unique you are. That insight appeared in the opening pages. The book blew my mind, mostly because Dr. Anthony drove home the point that unless we perceive our own true worth as a person, we will be light years away from ever achieving total self-confidence and self-worth. We can never be whole. Only to the degree that you can truly acknowledge your own unique importance will you be able to free yourself from your self-imposed limitations, he says. Michelle made me laugh when she used the phrase, the eye of the storm, because it's so accurate. When we identify so closely with our experiences, we create what Dr. Anthony calls mistaken certainties, things that we are sure are true, but that in fact are not, like If I date men, I will most likely get hurt. Or, I was a terrible student in elementary school, so I should go ahead and get a GED. Or, my parents lost all their money in the stock market crash of 1929, so I keep my cash under my mattress because I don't trust banks. Or, my divorce was so painful I could never get married again. These mistaken certainties are generally based on wishful thinking, Dr. Anthony explains, which distorts reality and leads to self-deception. We want things to be as we would like them to be rather than as they are. We look at the world through the filter of our beliefs, which blinds us to what is real. This goes for the bad stuff, too. Because my mind, and perhaps yours, has been programmed or conditioned to accept false and distorted concepts and values, we are vulnerable to falling into the trap of developing a lifestyle to justify them. In Buddha's brain, the practical neuroscience of happiness, love, and wisdom, Rick Hansen, Doctor of Philosophy, and Richard
Okay, wait a minute. At this point, it's like, wait, you haven't really been saying anything in between. You've been really just kind of quoting all the other things that you're like, this, she should have just been like, this is everything that inspired me, and I'm gonna make a fucking list of it. Like, what the hell? All right.
Mendius, medical doctor, described this phenomenon by saying, as you go through life, your brain acquires expectations based on your experiences, particularly negative ones. When situations occur that are even remotely similar, your brain automatically applies its expectation to them. If it expects pain or loss, or even just the threat of these, it pulses fear signals. It's a question of awareness, Dr. Anthony says. We must get through our thick skulls that everything we accept, relate, or reject is based on our present level of awareness. And if the level of awareness is faulty or distorted, as many of us in the midst of crisis experience, then our ability to be whole is jeopardized. Dr. Anthony says, your number one priority in life is the expansion of your awareness.
But what? How? Okay, wait a minute. This feels like a really bad report. Like where we are right now, I can't even. I'm not even comprehending what she's saying. I'm just like, wait a minute. I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like, I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, it's just weird. It's like reading, like, why are you reading that part too? Like, why don't you? Oh my god, I don't understand. Like, what? Analyze it yourself. Like, take it in. She's like quoting them. Is this plagiarism? Do they know that this is plagiarized to an extent? I feel like it is. Like, oh, it doesn't count because I didn't copy this, but you, because you cited it. But I feel like that's just all it is. This is like a really bad, like dumb 10th grader wrote this or something.
To discover that many of the things you thought were true are the things that, in reality, are not true. For all of us, that means we are not the eye of the storm. Earlier, I mentioned how being in the moment, even the painful ones, help us to feel the pain and burden of our circumstances while creating a separation between what is internal in us and external in the world. Think back to acceptance and commitment therapy. We separate our feeling from our behavior. The same holds true with identity. If we can remove the assumption that we are defined by the events that happen around us, we can expand our actions and behaviors to become the whole person we would like to be, full of self-confidence, radiant power, love, and fulfillment. I admit, it's a lofty wish list for sure, but we deserve all of it, and more. We just have to know how to get there. Watching the storm is about raising our awareness to be in touch with the good, bad, and ugly that compromises life itself without internalizing the storm as the only definition of who we are. The importance in doing so is that even when we don't like the reality of a situation, and even when we can't help the way we feel about someone or something, awareness leads to an acceptance that allows us to have control over our actions and reactions.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, Banana, so says she says The eyes are the window to the soul, the windows to the soul. Yeah, that's true. So, Gypsy shit, that's crazy. You gotta take like the fucking back most windy ass road, and then you're still like maybe might make it. I don't think you will. It's icy back there. There's cliffs. Roads just stop. They don't, nothing connects, you know. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. She's doing all these quotes just to say this shit. And it's like, all right, stop quoting everybody else. Maybe just take what you got from all of those different quotes and give us your summary of all those quotes put together instead of just listing every quote that you've ever fucking written down. You're like, oh my God, I'm so inspired. This fucking, like, it's not even anything like, it's not even anything like, and super inspiring. It's like from one of those bullshit ass posters from elementary school with like the fucking eagles and shit on it. Like, you were destined to fly. Like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I was. I fucking was. And it's like, that's not even really what it meant. It meant like soar high, like have high hopes in yourself. And this dumbass is fucking jumping. Whatever. I'm going way too far into outer space with that. All right. Okay,
That's
so yeah,
all we are trying to do here in
that's all we're trying to do here.
W, to get a firm grip on it all by taking stock. When we do that, the real healing can begin. I didn't learn this overnight. My own negative self-image was keeping me from knowing and utilizing my potential because I held mistaken certainties. I let things that had happened to me define who I was and who I was meant to be, and that could have been my downfall. When we live this way, Dr. Anthony likens it to being like a bird in a cage, which has no idea how much space exists outside. My father had written me from time to time from prison, beginning when I was 15 years old. Usually his letters were filled with rage, hate, and guilt-inducing accusations about me, his own family, and the women he had killed. When I was 17, I began to have my best friend Tanya open the letters for me. On one particular day, I knew I needed her not only to open it, but to read it to me. I knew it would be an important letter because it was a response to a letter I had sent to him a few weeks earlier in a moment of desperation. I was lost and in need of a parental figure, guidance, attention, and love so badly that I actually thought my best option was to write my father for advice. My home life was a wreck. I was sleeping on a cot in my grandmother's moldy, unfinished basement with a raging madman as a stepfather, my mother physically and emotionally unavailable, my brother and sister seeking refuge at the homes of various friends, on welfare, and with a newly diagnosed deaf baby half-brother. I explained to my father that I was sexually assaulted at the age of 15, in the middle of his arrest and conviction, and how the traumatizing act of violation had created a pregnancy. Tears stained the page as I went through the account of having an abortion, and how being all alone through it had affected me. I was afraid, beyond repair. Could he help me, I asked, figure out a way to stop the nightmares I had every night? The crying spells, the shame, and especially the way my heart panged every time I looked at my mother's son, my half-brother, who was the same age as my aborted child would have been. Finally, I had told someone.
All right, what the fuck is going on? Oh man. All right. At first I was like, all right, what's really going on? And then as we all did, had to get past the voice. But then it's like, even if you zone out for a second and then it's like you come back and you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Cuz it's so unbelievable. Like, yes, this scatterbrain bitch. sorry, but sorry for coughing in your ear like that. This scatterbrain fucking bitch is just like writing books and just getting them put out on shelves. Like, dude, you know what? What is going on here? What's really, really going on here? And I gotta dig deeper and all right, I got this. I got this. The publishing stuff, I was looking all that up. So, yep, they're all under the same shit, but there's sub levels underneath, so I got to get those all lined up.
As Tanya opened the letter, she scanned it first, and then indignantly told me I was never to read it. Despite my better judgment, I insisted. Though she resisted me at first, finally she tossed the letter over, moving across her bedroom with tears in her eyes. At first I thought they were tears of anger toward me for being too stern with her, but soon after I knew she was crying for me. So I begged her, "What does it say?" "He says you are a murderer too, and that you deserve to be locked up in a cell right next to him." Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "We are what we think about all day long." When I read that quote, I felt like he was talking directly to me. All day long I thought, I am poor white trash. I thought, I am a murderous girl who neglected to care for a gift from God. I thought, I am a slut for not being a virgin, despite the circumstances that my virginity was stolen. I thought, I am bad for still having a wanting for a father who is nothing short of the devil himself. I thought, I am despicable for being the daughter of such a man. I thought, I have a mother who is a fool. I am bad. I am his sins, her sins, and my sins, all wrapped up in one giant mistake. I thought these things all day long. And in my mind, that is exactly who I had become. The problem with identifying so much with your storm is twofold. You don't know how to be anything other than your storm, and you are denied the gift of getting to know your true self. In that way, Emerson is spot on. You become who you think you are.
Okay, that's enough of that. That is abso-fucking-lutely enough of that for today. Okay, so guys, the struggle is real. The struggle is real, but we do these things because it helps us get an idea of what's going on. This right here, definitely actually I'm glad we're going over it for real cuz it's a whole other thing. And I can't wait for you guys to see a couple of my new videos coming up because I'm going to be going even deeper than this. Balls deep, baby. Balls deep. All right. So, we're about at that point where I said I would do an hour because that might be all I can handle. It's sped up, so an hour goes to a little bit more. So, instead of it taking us a full 2 hours, it's almost up 1.5. It's like 1.25 up, which the voice isn't as bad at 1.25. So I think we can all agree that that's an okay speed. Because originally when we started this, it was at 9 something hours, but now it's a little under 7 hours, which is really only like 2.5, 3, depending on what speed we're going. Yeah. So what? You guys want to hear like a song or something? Like what? Dude, that's too much going on. Way too much. Now let's see here. If I'm in here and you guys can hear me through that. Sorry, I'm trying to think of something here. I put my mixer to my interface differently, and I'm trying to see if this would work like that. And I think it would. I don't want to blast you guys out with that. Let's see. Cleanse you. Yeah, this is pretty bad, but it's necessary. It is necessary. It's just yeah. All right, let me mute myself really quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do is play the drums to my song, and just hope that it doesn't sound like shit from the way it's connected. It shouldn't. Dude, there's a show called Bullshit on Netflix. It's actually pretty good. It's giving me like a little anxiety. I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of nervous for them. I was like, dang, my soul's in this. It's gotta be one of the easiest ways to make money on a game show. I'm sure plenty of you guys could be probably really good at it. It's literally called Bullshit. All right. Yeah. All right. So let me do this. And yeah. That's crazy. We don't want to do it like that. Wait a minute. All right. There we go. I was like, I don't want it to be connected like that. There's no reason for it to be connected like that. Oh, but it works better through the computer. That's right. That's the other thing that works like that. I can't believe that people can just write a book like that and like it gets published and sold and stuff. I mean, I guess anybody can write a book, or just the same way anybody can get like this distributed or whatever, but still, the hell? I mean, I know she's got the connection with the whole dad thing, but dude, even still, it's like, what the fuck? People are like, oh, that book, that makes me want to work with that lady. Because her book is on point? No. What the fuck? I have no clue. That's why I'm like, I gotta figure out more. There's more stuff that we have figured out. There is more stuff, but yeah. All right, come on, Bug, whatever your name is. All right, I'm gonna do. Don't worry, shorty. And now I gotta switch over. Hold on. Let me put my little secret thingy up, because it's cool like that. Panda. Ah, yeah. My panda hides my dirty things, so you guys can't see him. What was that sound? Moosey, what are you doing, buddy? Is that you? Scoundrel? Are you mad? Because I said you can't go out? Oh, well. Alright. Alright. Sorry about that. Took a fucking minute. Alright. Now let me get behind the drum set. And I gotta balance it right. I gotta mute myself. Wait, I didn't even ask. Can you guys hear my drums? That's the question I need to ask. Can you guys hear the drums? I wonder why. Alright, now I gotta figure out why. Why I would do that? I'm trying to think. Alright, let's see. If that's in, that goes out. Yeah, that's in. Well, you guys are still hearing me through there. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you be able to hear the drums? That doesn't make sense. You guys can hear me though, right? Still? I mean, it looks like you guys can hear me. Interesting. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. That's weird. Alright, so but you guys can hear me though, right? That's all I need to know. You guys can hear me, because it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't be able to hear the drums coming through there. It's coming to the same fucking thing. What if you can you hear my music? Butterflies, that's what I'm feeling when I look in your eyes. Dude, okay, alright. Can hear the music. It's so delayed. Let's see. The monitor comes back to me with that sound, and if it's coming in there. Yeah, I don't know either, but I'll look into that because that's a whole other thing. That's a good point. Christine says, "I have no idea how long she lived with her father." Yeah. And I don't know either. So I'm gonna go back into the childhood. We watched something and there was some stuff, but um, when you're like first like learning about stuff and you watch a lot at once, and yeah, I definitely need to go back. Yeah, word. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, I guess well, I'm not gonna keep messing around. If you guys start hearing drums, let me know. But I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna get out of here. Butterflies, that's what I'm feeling when I look in your eyes. Oh, it's such a delight. Roller coaster, that's been your life. I know it's scary, but it'll be alright. You cannot deny the truth. Love will find its way through you. You cannot deny the truth. This heart will find its way to you. Look, I know you've been hurt before. Let me dry your eyes. Hey, sorry, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, sorry, you will know no more. Hey, Tori, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, Tori, you will know no more. Wonderful, you know you really are. Pull you out from the dark, 'cause you're my moon and my stars. Broken hearted, babe. We can sit and you can talk. You know I'm always listening. You cannot deny the truth. Love will find its way through you. You cannot deny the truth. This heart will find its way to you. I know you've been hurt before. Let me dry your eyes. Hey, shorty, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, shorty, you will know no more. Yeah. Hey, shorty, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, shorty, you will know no more. Tell me, do you like it? Tell me, do you like that? You're not alone no more. You're not alone no more. Tell me, do you like it? Tell me, do you like that? You're not alone no more. You're not alone no more. I know you've been hurt before. Let me dry your eyes. Hey, shorty, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, shorty, you will know no more. Yeah. Hey, shorty, don't worry. I'll be there on you when you're feeling lonely. Hey, shorty, you will know no more. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's see, Donna. Thank you so much for your super chat. It's awesome, man. Everybody, thank you for being here. Jetica, yes, dude. Awesome. Wildbird, thank you guys for modding. You guys are awesome. Banana, Anna, Christine, Andrea, Laney, thank you for being here. Masi was here earlier. Annie, yes, as always, thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we're gonna continue with this book, and I'll do probably a longer thing tomorrow and whatever. Plus, I want to see what's going on, figure out why you can't hear the drum set, as the drum set is coming through the exact same thing. Well, I'll figure it out regardless. So for the rest of you guys, oh, Laura Lynn, thank you for being here. Elizabeth, yeah. So also, you guys, I'll probably go live on TikTok and play the drums in just a little while. But oh, Kai, yeah, Kai, that's right, 'cause Kyle's in here. I'm going back up. Kai, Sky, yes, sweet. All right, there we go. I think I got all you guys that were in here. Thanks for being here. If you guys are watching it, rewatching it on the replay, hey, what's going on? Thank you so much. I'm WhatDaBuG. I'm getting the fuck out of here. You guys have a great night or whatever the hell you guys are doing. Seriously, I appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, man. So I'm getting out of here though, for real. Seriously. This time I'm gonna get this smoke rolling. I don't know why the smoke just stops whenever the fuck it wants, but all right, seriously, guys. I'm out of here. Much love.